Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm back. I am Jay with Guilty of Crime. Good to see you all here today. Do me a favor, hit the like button on your way in. If you haven't subscribed and you're new here, do us a favor, subscribe. Go ahead and share this later on. I wanted to cover this Madeline Soto, a predator in this community. And when you see what I'm talking about, you'll understand why I say this community. In our community, what this guy seemed to do was attack the Madeline Soto community. And I'm so glad that Plunder, I sent her a message and thanked her for covering this because she's a lifesaver by covering this. He was doing that to all of the people that were in the Madeline Soto community and seeing what he could get into. Now, I saw Tracy here and some other people in chat. Tracy saying that when she was here, he seemed off in chat. That's as far as he got, and I'll explain as we go further. He never got past my chat. He tried calling me on Facebook 100 times, and I never answered. Anyway, we'll get into all that, but for now, welcome. Happy Friday. Good to see everybody. Kathy Rivera, how you doing? Crime to Remember. Marilyn McCrae, always good to see you. Scary Sherry, hopefully you're in here listening. I know you don't feel good, but please do feel better. And thank you for sending that $20 Cash App before the show started. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Quickly, let's remember why we're here. We're here for Madeline Soto. That's what we've been here for the entire time, is Madeline Soto. Okay, so I want to show you what we're looking at when it comes to the memorial. There are a couple places now, and I talked about it last time with the Locks of Love. There are a couple places that they are looking at to, let me see where it is, to put the bench. And now sometimes this group, let me put this back, because sometimes this group will come on here, Justice for Madeline Soto, and they switch stuff all up. It's interesting how they do that. They'll delete posts, they put them on there. It's interesting. So let me look for that while you guys are settling in. Again, hello everybody. Some of this stuff on here, it's funny because I don't know the rhyme or reason to these posts. But again, this is not my Facebook. Carly, please do me a favor and do not share Maddie's Memorial Cash App. They are no longer sharing that. I was in the middle of an episode and I got a phone call, and I think I'm not going to answer those phone calls anymore, because when I'm in the middle of an episode and somebody calls me and then everybody's on here listening to my call, it's like somebody goes on somewhere else and they start saying this and that about it. So I'm not going to answer. If somebody calls me during an episode, they're going to have to wait. All right. So yeah, please don't post that. And all right. Good. Katrina's Bauer was set to 400,000. I'll post that up later and share the video. Bree, thanks for sharing that with me. All right. Nancy's usually a rewatch person. Good to hear. Justice or Maddie. All right. Quickly, let's get into this because the Plunder video is quite long and there's a lot to go over. So a day ago, Jenny, and remember that name. Please remember the name. If you're part of this community, you know who Jenny is. If you've been following Guilty of Crime since the beginning, you know Jenny Escovel is the advocate for Madeline Soto in Florida, and she's been my source in Florida for a long time with a lot of the other women over there. They got me to that vigil to stream Maddie's vigil exclusively. And so Jenny's been the person that's been in contact with me. All right. And thank you for subscribing, Terry Jones. So Jenny is visiting various parks. She mentioned Maddie's bench and plaque placement. She'll be posting images of them so we can share views of it. I'll be posting images, each of them, so we can share views. Can't wait to read your remarks. I'm out with the family. I'll post the rest of the parks tomorrow. Let's begin with Chisholm Park in St. Cloud. The playground and sports fields were crowded. So for privacy purposes, we didn't take pictures, but I love the idea of the plaque and the bench being in a populated area to spread the message. All right. So it's also waterfront. The area is very inviting and provides space. Now, you guys should go over to the Justice for Madeline Soto page. Go add yourself. All right. Let's take a look at these. They're not the best pictures, but you can get the idea of what's happening here. They're trying to put him over at the park. They want a bench That's beautiful right there. There's waterfront. They want to put a bench by it and a plaque behind it so you all can go and say a prayer, remember Maddie, all of that stuff. That's what we're here for. That's the only reason we're here is justice for Maddie. What's up, Jamila? Good to see you. And Rosie, good to see you. All right, so let me show you a few more pictures and we'll get into today's video. All right, so those are some views of the waterfront park that they're talking about. You can see they got a bench there. They'd probably put a bench by a tree and put a plaque up so people could remember Matt. That gives you a good idea of that. And then there's a park, just, like kind of a kids park, which might be a good idea since there are a lot of children and adults that bring the children there. This is more of like probably adults coming down, maybe people going for a picnic. I don't know this area, but it gives you a good idea. And hello, everybody. I hope you guys are all here for what we're here for, to see justice for Madeline Soto. Okay, so Rua says, hi, I'm from my bed in Ireland. Well, I'm from my office in San Jose, California. Good to see you. All right, so do go over and be part of that community. Be part of the Justice for Madeline Soto community. That is the biggest one, I believe, that's out there, and there are 11.7 thousand members there. There's a lot of different activity here. You see the little cute Maddie, video. There's so much that you can remember Maddie and contribute to that community. And if you're in Florida, it's great because you can find out what's going on in that area. They post a lot of things like they post that thing. I don't like that, but they post court dates. They talk about the next few trials. They try to get up to date information on that page as much as possible. So there's that. They share a lot of information that will keep you guys satisfied, but also real content for the most part. They can't always vet every single thing going on. You're going to see why in a minute here when I say that, because they had somebody in that group, and that's where it stemmed from. So when you watch this video and Plunder references Jenny, you're going to see why. You're going to see why she references Jenny, because of this right here. So I'm going to show you this quickly. Jenny sends a deep apology to this community for letting individual in her group below, not only into that page, but that page was brought, Reddit was brought to Facebook, and Facebook started merging with them, and come to find out it's this guy here. And you guys saw him. His name was HGhostify. And we'll tell the story as it goes. They even have his address on there, which I don't know that they should have, but whatever. He's registered as a sex offender at this address, and there's a big story behind it, but this is the post from Jenny, and that's where it stemmed from. So Ben got into the community like the toxic person that a sex offender would be. And it's really creepy, all the things that he had going on. So he asked to help the Reddit page. And I guess he slipped through Jenny. And then Jenny recommended Bree, who's my moderator, as a researcher, which Jenny asked me to help, to have somebody that could help her. She said she couldn't run the Facebook page alone. So I recommended Bree, and go figure, it backfires. So I guess you're guilty by association. Like I always say, even if you did nothing wrong and you're associated with someone, sometimes bad things come, right? Marilyn McRae, evil slithered in. Bev Taylor, have you heard anything from Maddie's grandparents? I have not heard a thing, Bev, but thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I haven't heard anything. It's been eerily quiet on that end, and I'm assuming there's going to be a wave pretty soon. All right. I have a feeling there's going to be a wave of things, because waves come. They come in twos, they come in threes. And Maddie had a life that no one would ever want. A selfish mother, a chomo, bother her all the time, not allowed to socialize outside of her home, and few friends. All right. And yes, Shannon, he is registered. He isn't supposed to be online. And Bree called in, and she reported it to the officers down at his address. So that's what we're going to talk about today as I react to this video I'll give you guys bits and pieces of what happened, what the heck happened, and why did Plunder come out with this? How the heck did that affect Plunder? Plunder is got a huge community, right? She's got a huge community of people, and he was over there emailing her, telling her things that he was telling our chat as well. Now, many of you guys were in my chat, and you saw that guy in there being, just kind of weird, talking about don't say Maddie, say Madeline. That was one of the red flags from Plunder, and you're going to hear it today. Hello, everybody, as you trickle in. Let's get into this. I'm going to react to this as we go. And if you've been here and you know, you know. Yeah, Jamila, if you know, you know. He was very close, but he was doing that to the entire community. He was messaging Jenny from Facebook, who's very unsuspecting. She's never dealt with this. Plunder and many other people that I've spoke with that don't want to be in this. They don't want to be in this. And I was put in this unknowingly over the weekend because Bree, our moderator, was helping Facebook. And then Facebook got pushed onto her onto a Reddit post, and the whole thing just exploded. So let's listen to what Plunder has to say, and we'll react. We'll let you know as the signs come up, the red flags. I was not exposed to this guy, by the way. I never talked to him. He called me 100 times on Facebook, and I was like, "Why is this dude calling me? Bree, can you take care of this?" I don't deal with that. Most of the time I talk to my mods. Now, by the way, my mods are all vetted. We check the mods have background checks. We make sure they're real. We even check references. So when Bree came on and all my mods came on, we check references. Carly is the channel manager. Carly, if you're here, say what's up. I send that over to Carly. Carly does all the searching for me. She says yay or nay if she wants a moderator. I don't take care of that. But another thing is we don't share information. So I did have a concern. I don't know if Carrie's here, but Carrie messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm reading the Reddit post, and it's saying that that Ghost is saying that, or somebody's saying that you shared files with the Reddit pages. They got naked pictures of Maddie and Maddie's body. We don't have pictures like that, number one. And number two, we don't share that with anybody. You know who shares with everybody? We get FOIAs. When I say we, Carly and Bree, they file a FOIA and they get the information, and then we put it onto our server, and we don't share with anybody. There's Carly. There's my girl. She's the one that is the one that does everything for me. She's the first person that does everything for me. And then we have Bree that I go to for most of the things, and then everybody else that I kind of disperse. But we don't just say, "Hey, come on, you want access to all my stuff?" We don't do that. And that guy, Ben, I never talked to at all myself. I never did anything with him. I was just guilty by association. So you can hear that from me now. Thank you for checking your mods. Geez, I'm going to ask for background on other channels. We do, Mr. Beer. We do. Carly is the one that got me started with this channel. She helped me get it going. And she said, you can't just let anyone on here. So she does that. She has multiple background checking sources. We check freaking references, okay? We get addresses. We get phone numbers. We do not just let anyone on here. And I didn't do it that day either. I never did it. I was hanging out with my family on the weekend, and guilt by association is real. I now know that being a YouTuber for almost 9 months now, I realized that, wow, I was never bullied in school. I never got bullied in school, y'all. But I got bullied on Reddit. Man, I'm still getting bullied on Reddit to the point where I had Oblivious Benson and Duty Ron calling me. Oblivious Benson called me and said, "Duty Ron and I are concerned about you." Who else did it? There was other creators that called me and messaged me and were upset for me. They were really upset for me. Ghost is a P. Yes, I had another Reddit account. Anyone else? No, I'm not on Reddit. I was never on Reddit. Jenny Esquivel called me and said, "We're running a Reddit page." And I've been working with Jenny. So I trusted that Jenny was vetting her sources. She said, "Can you put these Reddit accounts on here? We're verifying them." And then like 3 days later, "Oh, sorry, we didn't vet them. This is what happened." So yeah, gotta love Duty Ron and Oblivious Benson. Yeah, I do. They care about me, and a lot of other creators do too. I never go to Reddit anymore. No more. We're done with that. I have some pages just so people don't start nonsense, but I'm not even looking at it, y'all. I'm not looking at it. Yes, Carly does a fantastic job. So does Bree. So does Wolfpack. So does Petty. So does JoJo. And so does Synth. All of them are great. Michelle, I couldn't have said that better. I am completely being bullied. I've never been bullied in my life like that before. Now, I used to get called, oh, you're gay or you're a fag or something like that. And I could say that because I am. But I have gotten bullied for my sexuality. I've gotten bullied for my nationality, but I've never been bullied like I have in the last week. Never, ever, ever in my life. Yeah, we are a team. We are a team, absolutely. But I've never, yeah, F Reddit. I've never been bullied. It's amazing. Sweet down to earth, fact finding truth, pure no nonsense. Our whole community is just amazing. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. Yeah, we do have the best mods. It's absolutely disgusting that they're still trying to bully me and tell me, why aren't you taking responsibility? I can't believe Jay's not taking responsibility. I take zero responsibility for any of that. I didn't do anything, or I would say I apologize. I really didn't. So we'll keep going. He's probably flying around our new location. I hope he's too dumb to reinvent himself. Well, we all know now. We all know. Yeah, keyboard bullies, you're right. These people are, I got to tell you, if you want class and you want style and you want real research and real voice for the little voices and all voices, come to Guilty of Crime, because that's what we're about. We're not gonna be bullying people. We'll talk to them. I'll call a creator. I'll call them. I'll message them right to their face, and I'll have a talk with them. But I absolutely will not bully people. Ugh, that's disgusting. All right, I'm glad I caught that comment on Plutter's channel and made me so mad. Absolutely. And yes, I am preaching it because all week I've been trying not to address this. Today is Friday. I'm happy to be on here. I'm happy that that Reddit was brought to the attention of Plunder, and I'm glad she did this. You're in the LGBT community, love and respect to all. And that's another thing. If you want to come to this channel, this community, and feel safe, you can come to my channel. We do not allow that. All right, let's get into it. Plunder, again, shout out. Thank you. Ladies, if you can throw her link in the chat. If you guys haven't subscribed to Plunder, please do. She also had a rough year last year. Her channel got pulled down. She put it back up, and now she's at 150,000 subscribers again. Kudos to you, Plunder.
Drama in the Madeline Soto case with you. It involves the Madeline Soto Redditor moderator named HGhost. Now, I'm not going to say his real name. I'm not going to show his real photos, but he's been exposed as a predator.
I showed you.
And so I want to talk about that moderator's 7 red flags that many of us missed, but some of us really caught onto it, and we knew something was wrong. So there's been a big shakeup in the true crime world, at least for those of us who've been closely following the case of Madeline Soto. She's the 13-year-old girl who was unfortunately killed by her mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. So in all my years of following true crime, I've never seen anything like this happen. So cunningly, so shockingly. This recent event shows that anyone can ingratiate themselves into not just the true crime community, but start to become this moderator, this leader, as it were.
And I'm going to answer that question, Rebecca, because if you go over to the Facebook page, Jenny Esquivel apologizes for that. I don't know who gave him access to the Reddit account, but he got into the Reddit account for the Madeline Soto page, and then he smoothed his way into the Facebook community with Jenny. So if anyone knows, Bree, if you know how he got a Reddit account, let me know. Somebody must have passed that on to him. I don't do Reddit. The only reason I was helping out Jenny with Reddit is because that's my girl. She brought me into this case. She's been so gracious to me. Foxy, thank you for gifting the 1 Guilty of Crime membership, the 420 membership. Thank you. So that's what I know about him and how he got into the Facebook Madeline Soto group. That's a private group. And you're going to hear more about this as Paula tells you the red flags. What happened to her is the same thing that happened to our community.
For a subreddit or Reddit community, that's up to like 12,000 people right now. So he's a male registered sex offender who duped a lot of people. He took control of this Reddit sub that was dedicated to Maddie. He pretended to be someone who really cared about the victim. I believe he was also masking himself as a female, as a woman who's also been through trauma. Now, the real guy may have been through trauma himself. He probably caused trauma when I read these crimes he's accused of committing to you, but he's also a member of the DID community, this disassociative community. Aside from that, a lot of us spotted the red flags he was presenting ever since he took over the subreddit. So instead of being this concerned true crime victims advocate, I believe this man just fooled so many people, just pulled the wool over their eyes.
But can I tell you something? He didn't fool Bree. Bree, Gothic Bree, is our moderator. He did not fool her at all. He did not fool her to the point where Jenny called me upset with Bree, saying that she's not letting Ben do his job. She's taking over it. And Bree had a suspicion that something was wrong and she called the police. She did not just that. I glossed over the story. She honestly knew what he said, the previous owner of subreddit, but they gave him ownership and he took over it wanting to revamp subreddit. Bree knew something was wrong, so she started checking his other pages, his other names, and lo and behold, she even contacted OB. Oblivious Benson was in Las Vegas this weekend, and you know that she's into OSINT, right? So Bree called Oblivious Benson and said, I need you to look at this guy for me. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with him. And last week, we knew something was wrong when I was showing pictures of Maddie to you all. I was showing pictures that were never seen before. He actually got them himself from Tatiana. And then he sent them over to Bree. Bree sent them to me. I put them on the channel. And after that, Jenny called me and said, you weren't supposed to use those pictures. You weren't supposed to use those pictures. Well, I got them from Bree. How was I supposed to know? He was sending them to Plunder. He was sending them to other channels. He was trying to get into the community. Yeah, Bree has no problem saying she called the police. She tipped him in. She gave all that. And yeah, it came to my channel saying we let him in. No, we didn't. We, in fact, are not the ones that let him in. We're the ones that, in fact, called in and got a police report. All right.
In actuality, this man has been exposed as someone out of California whose crimes are listed as, quote, possession or control of obscene material depicting minor in sexual conduct. So again, I'm not going to name this 6 foot tall, 250 pound, 37-year-old white male, but you can find his name and his photos all over Reddit, all over Facebook. You know, I trust the people who've uncovered, the Redditors and everyone who say they've uncovered the background of this man, connected it, I guess, somehow via his accounts and emails and what have you. Since I didn't do the background research myself, I'm not going to publish his photo. You can find it all over YouTube and Reddit, though. I'm not going to delve into the drama on YouTube that has happened as a result of this man being exposed. You know, people pointing fingers about who modded for who or whatever. I don't know.
And I love you, Plunder, for saying that. She just said, I'm not going to point fingers at the YouTube drama about who modded for who, because you all that have been here since day one know that that guy was never a moderator on my channel. And as a matter of fact, Carly's going to be even more diligent if we ever do get new mods. She's going to double background check you. So if anyone comes to my channel and wants to be a mod, just know you're going to get background check, reference checks. It's what we've been doing, but now we're going to double down on it. Devil's advocate here, isn't it the sus that he constantly took up for Tyler and Tatiana and got photos from them? Well, we didn't talk to him, Shannon K. It was very sus. Why do you think that it happened so quickly that Bree said something's not right? He didn't work with us, Shannon. He never worked with us, ever. And I only knew of his name for maybe 3 working days. I don't work on the weekends usually. I talked to him via instant message like twice. He messaged me and was trying to get at me like he did Paula, because I'm the host of Guilty of Crime. So he tried to personally get to me, and he didn't, because I said, no, talk to Bree. I'm not doing this. I don't sit there and just open up my life to people I don't know. I let my mods do that for me. Thank you, ladies. All right. So yeah, devil's advocate. Please play devil's advocate. I don't know what went on the Reddit pages before I got involved. You know why? Because I don't get into Reddit. I only did for Jenny because she asked me to. So no more
about all that. I think the most valuable lesson we can study in uncovering this wolf in sheep's clothing is to take a deep dive into how he ingratiated himself into the community, possibly even getting close to Maddie's family, perhaps. We don't know what's lies and what's not, and how we can spot such predators lurking in the true crime community.
Can I tell you something, Shannon? He did have a relationship with Tatiana, and she didn't know who she was talking to. Tati was fooled, Shannon. And you know why I didn't think that was a big deal? I had no idea because Jenny talks to Tatiana and Teresina. So because Jenny talks to him, Ben was like her front guy. So I had no problem with thinking that he was talking to Tatiana. I didn't. Bree had a problem with it. Yeah, Plunder is a good speaker. She's a good storyteller and she doesn't go live. So because she doesn't go live, she doesn't have to stop and, get trolls and all that stuff. She can just tell her story, edit it, and hit play
in that arena in the future. And then at the end of this video and all throughout, we'll talk about what I think his sick motivation really was, the way he took such pains to pretend to be one of us. He pretended to be a true crime follower, someone interested in watching Maddie Soto get her justice. We follow these cases, we get as much information as we can. Us YouTubers present them to you guys. We follow the case like some shows say from gavel to gavel, the entire court case. Another show is from victim to verdict, from the point at which we first hear about a victim to the point at which their perpetrator is found guilty or not guilty or confesses or what have you. Some of us follow these cases from beginning to end because it feels like we start to know the victims and we want to advocate for them. We want to do our part for them. Well, not this guy. This guy was playing the long game. In my own mind, I think his outcome, his actual goal, must have been to try and obtain some type of horrible CSAM photos of Maddie. He probably wanted to pass them around to some sick secret society. I'm learning a lot the more I delve into a case like Maddie's. Sometimes it's just a missing mom like Suzanne Morphew. Sometimes it's a little boy like Gannon Stout who's harmed by his own stepmom. And now we have this case of Maddie, which unfortunately involves tons of photos of horrible stuff. CSAM. It's not that far of a stretch to think that.
And do me a favor, y'all, while you're here. I know we're enthralled in this because when I heard this, when I was, it was late at night and I was bummed out because of all the bullying going on. And I was so bummed. And then Paula came out with this video and this light came on me like, oh my God, I'm so glad she's saying something. Thank you. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and then share with your community. All right. Maggie Del Torres says hello. Guilty of crime? Yes, you did get alive. And if you guys have the means to gift memberships, super chat, super sticker, any of that helps. All right. I appreciate it. Let's go. Thank you, Paula, again for this.
That Stephen Stearns might have been distributing these photos, or if he didn't, maybe pedos like this guy, this HGhost guy who's been exposed as being a child predator, according to the charges, maybe he glommed onto the case, soaked up everything about true crime and the way we speak and the way we care and our mannerisms and everything just to pretend to be one of us, only to see how close he could get to get photos perhaps. What I learned in some of these CSAM societies, probably on the dark web and such, the price of membership, in essence, is providing these horrible photos at least once a week or once a month or something. That's the price of membership. So I'm sure these sickos are constantly looking for new photos. It's almost like discovering a new drug or a new high or new something that they can all just... Anyway, this guy, I thought, and many other people thought, he was a female just because of the way he spoke. He said something about fangirling out over someone, and I think he spoke of his own trauma. So everyone kind of naturally, initially assumed, okay, this is a woman. Maybe she's been abused, and now she's interested in true crime. She wants Maddie to get her justice. Boy, were we fooled a lot. Some of us. After a while, these red flags kind of gave it away. So this man started claiming he had everything from so-called exclusive photos of Maddie at the crime scene. I don't believe that. I don't think they would release that to anyone, unless for some reason they would release it to Maddie's close family members. I don't know.
Now, we wouldn't release, nobody has those. So, Paula, nobody has those. We all have the same FOIA. We have the same FOIA request that Plunder has, that Grizzly True Crime has, and they did not, in fact, release any photos that were sensitive to anybody or anything. There are no crime scene photos or no pictures of Maddie. There's nothing like that that exists to us creators at all whatsoever. So you guys can ease your mind in knowing that nothing's out there like that. He, in fact, was closer to Tatiana than any of us have been. I've never talked to Tatiana, and I would love to have an interview with her. Jojo, let's get the train chugging. Woo, woo. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And Maggie, you're beautiful. Thank you for the $14.99 super sticker. Thank you guys. And I appreciate you guys so much. Just this community is just great. Thank you so much. I can't believe what support I've gotten. And like I said, I've never been bullied like this before, other than for my sexuality or my race. But I mean, this is bad. This is really bad. You know, she's been attacked about this. Thank you, Karen. They're still doing it too, by the way, but it's kind of like saying that I'm a 7 foot tall snowman. That's how baseless their allegations are. If you all believe that I'm 7 feet tall and a snowman, then hit the like button. That means you're not going to hit it, because those allegations are just like, I mean, I'm just being targeted and bullied right now. And it's outrageous. I'm pretty sure I know where it's coming from, but it doesn't matter. I would never do that to any of you. Thank you for being kick ass. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. I appreciate your all of your guys' support.
If that's even a thing, this guy was probably just lying, like he lied about his identity. Now, we know there was the one photo where the sheriff accidentally released a photo of Madeline at the crime scene, or rather where she was left, not necessarily the crime scene, where she was left in the woods. That was accidentally posted to Instagram. I know that's made the rounds, but that photo, which I've never published, I've seen it, and you can't see Maddie per se. She's just, it's far away, and from what I remember, I think she's covered up. But this guy claimed to have insider knowledge about Maddie whispering that she liked to be called Madeline, and she always corrected people who called her Maddie. He lied about getting a call from the prosecutor's office proclaiming that Maddie wasn't pregnant, and the nerve of this predator even extended to him contemplating aloud on Reddit, writing a letter from Maddie's point of view, from her perspective in heaven, and literally showing it to Maddie's dad and stepmom. It's just a bridge too far. We're going to talk about all these red flags. I'm even going to show you some of my replies to him when I assumed, I was talking to some female true crime moderator. Thank God, I don't think he ever emailed me, or I don't think he ever DM'd me. This is a learning lesson. This is a cautionary tale for all of us.
And thank you, Paula, for that cautionary tale. Thank you, Paula, for being this voice of reason that swept over the internet and told the story that needed to be told. And from her perspective, luckily she wasn't touched by this creep, and people didn't all of a sudden say, Paula did something. Thank God that they didn't do that. Thank you, Barb Mellinson, for the $1.99 super sticker. I'm so glad that didn't happen to her, but I am glad that she's telling the story. She has a big outreach and a huge community. So thank you, Paula.
Of us to show all of us in true crime how far some creepers are willing to go to just get into communities and start messaging people and even taking over communities. It's really, really weird. It's really scary. And I'm not blaming any creator at all, or administrator or mod, for falling for this person who I truly believe duped so many people. Heck, even Stephen Stearns posed as this monster hiding in plain sight, basically. He was under the handle Sustene. Even as Stefan Stearns in real life was harming Maddie in the worst ways possible, he was boldly going onto Reddit, posting a photo of, this is my girlfriend's 9-year-old daughter. Here we've worked for hours on these little things he's painted. Even Stephen Stearns was giving advice to some pregnant 19-year-old. So if he could be that way, why wouldn't there be some creeper trying to mix in with the true crime community and take over a sub dedicated to Maddie? And why shouldn't we expect other pedos to glom onto cases like this in the future on Reddit, on Facebook, and elsewhere? So by deep diving into these tactics of HGhost, we can arm ourselves now, this 21st century knowledge of what to look forward to, or the things to look for when we're covering.
And when you're a new YouTuber, especially, you guys need the support. If I have any YouTubers here on my channel in chat, make sure that you get a hold of me if you ever have a question or you need help getting out of some situation that you did nothing. It really does hurt your soul to see lies plastered about you that you had nothing to do with, and people just calling you names, calling you sicko, calling you this, calling you that, when you did nothing wrong. And then there's other small creators that have just been kicked off of YouTube because they're bullied lately. So don't let that happen. If you notice, I've been on here 4 days this week, 5 streams, 4 days. I did not let those bullies kick me off of YouTube. And I didn't, because I'm stronger than that. And I have all of your support and many creators. So thank you. Jojo, thank you for the gift, the Guilty of Crime membership. Shannon K, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Yeah, that sustenance tattoo on Stephen Stearns is going to go over like shit in a punch bowl in prison. I agree. Stay strong. Thank you, Marissa. I appreciate it. It's been a tough week, but when there's baseless accusations, it bothers me a little bit. It just bothers me that people lie like that and hate me so much For what?
Covering similar cases, moderators, everyone, administrators can look towards this guy's tactics to figure out how to spot a creeper like that and get him out of the community before he takes too much control, I believe, like this guy did. So first, let's start out before we get into the red flags. What is Reddit's role in true crime? So first of all, many of us know social media plays a huge role in true crime. We don't just have, like they call it, the dead tree media anymore. Newspapers, back in the day, Truman Capote wrote In Cold Blood, and that book was it was a linchpin. It was a change in how true crime was covered. And newspapers, of course, covered it, and we had magazines, and then with the O.J. Simpson trial, the Menendez.
All right, you guys post it in chat. Now there was no bad mod. There was no mod on my channel that did that. So the person that was doing it was on Reddit, and we did say it was a guy named HGhostify. So you guys can put that in chat if you want. He was in our chat last week, y'all, and you guys were chatting with him. I posted one of his comments on there because he was trying to get a hold of Bree on my channel. He was being really weird, and I was like, ask Bree. So I posted it up, and then all of this came out. So yeah, hello Melanie, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for supporting our community, and thank you for bringing Wyatt with you. What a sweetheart.
Brothers, all these things turn the public wanting more and more the details, the ins and outs of true crime, watching the court cases. Now with the internet, of course, people are going to want to know more. They're going to want to know.
They're going to want to know more. And Sizzle74, the family talking about Maddie not being pregnant, that is not false. It is not false yet. We got to wait now. It came from Madeline's family, but we haven't seen anything from the district attorney. Okay. It came from Madeline's family, but I got that from a phone call that you saw me on from my source, which we know is Jenny now. You guys were all here when that happened. So if it's false, we'll find out soon. Well, if it's false, we'll find out soon. That's what I'm going to say. But I did want to address that because all of this happened in the last week or so.
Sooner and everything. For example, the only way I found out Stephen Stearns was in court yesterday, I was looking 9 a.m. Where is he? Where is he? The only way I got photos was by going on Twitter, searching for Stephen Stearns' name, choosing the latest, and thank God I immediately saw the photos that the Osceola News Gazette posted at 9:32 a.m. on Monday, October 14th. Only minutes after they posted it, I was like, wow. Yes. So social media can be a great thing when it's just real reporters or citizen journalists or whomever wanting to pass along valid information. The Osceola News Gazette may have been the only one to get any photos of Stearns yesterday. Perhaps they were the sole reporter in the courtroom. Twitter is great for breaking news. Facebook groups have also begun to play a major role in these crime cases or missing persons groups. Sometimes it's just a missing person and a group gets created around that missing person. People come together, they share clues. The best thing you can hope for is that person to be found unharmed. Oops, it was just a miscommunication. Unfortunately, some of those missing persons groups end up turning into case discussions groups, learning why that person was murdered. So groups dedicated to Madeline Soto have members in the tens of thousands, sharing updates and photos and videos.
You're absolutely right, Kaylin, and that's why I'm not going to take phone calls anymore or any kind of anything unless it's from my mods needing something. We don't know who's credible in that family. It's so sad, and what happened is so sad. For now, Tatiana has to go through that, realizing that she was sharing pictures with the predator. That sucks. That sucks really hard. The same pictures that Paula was being sent, I was being sent. Not me personally, but Bree. I say we because we're all guilty by association, apparently, that he was just a Redditor, not a mod. No, he was not just a Redditor. He was actually the mod of that Reddit, which was the Madeline Soto Reddit. He even had a Reddit called Madeline Soto Evidence. So he had all the documents from wherever he got them from. I have no idea where he got them from. But yeah, we should, I appreciate that, Patricia. We should have the trigger warning for me.
Videos and wonderful things. Like this woman, Jenny, she just seems so wonderful and so genuine. It's just something about her I trust. She runs a large Madeline Soto group, and she's really heartfelt. She just went live and apologized for even introducing this guy to the community. She didn't know who he was, and I believe her.
Jenny.
You know, some people just hit you up and you don't know who the heck they are.
All right, so now she's talking about Jenny. Jenny's the person that called me that day and said that Madeline wasn't, or Maddie wasn't pregnant. That's where that came from. So if you just heard her name, it was Jenny. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you and I love you. Thank you so much for following me since February. All right. But yeah, she's talking about Jenny now.
And they pretend like they have the right motive. So she apologized from her heart for even introducing this Reddit moderator into the Facebook group community. Now, true crime forums like Web Sleuths, they have tons of threads about this case also. And I tell you what, after this, especially, I always appreciated the way Trisha runs Web Sleuths, the owner. I appreciate it even more when stuff like this happens. She really, I believe, does her due diligence when it comes to any member who gets on there and they claim they have inside knowledge, they know the family, or they are even a lawyer or doctor or whatever, they have some specific insight into the particular case being discussed. Well, they can become like a verified person. So I don't know the process they go through. I don't know if that person has to prove, they're a family member by showing their driver's license or showing photos or showing something. But whatever they do on Web Sleuths, it's working. They only try and cite the facts with verified links, mainstream media articles, or something where it's a little more trustworthy. It's not just like, trust me, bro, like this HGhost guy.
There you go.
It sounds like when I asked him for verification, it sounds like he was one of those, trust me, bro, this news is from the family. Trust me, bro. I don't think that would have happened on Web Sleuths. There's a ton of due diligence.
I love you, Paula. You're amazing. And Tom, we don't know if he is. From what we hear, he might have gotten arrested. So it's a speculation, but I'll find out from the source that told me that he got arrested. I don't say we. Bree called in and reported him to the officers in El Cajon. All right. So hopefully he is. And Monica Olin just gifted 5 guilty of crime memberships. Thank you so much. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are still my day ones. You've been here since day one, literally. Law enforcement has his IP address. They have everything. Bree hooked them up. Yes.
There. And of course, other Facebook administrators, a lot of people, Reddit mods are very diligent in who they try and let onto the site, I'm sure. But now we get to Reddit. It's an excellent platform that took over from the days of dig.com. I don't know who remembers dig.com, but it was kind of had the Reddit kind of vibe, but dig just collapsed, and it's probably still in existence, but Reddit just took over. So a sub or a subreddit is a niche community on the Reddit platform, and subreddits are independently moderated by community members. They have their own rules and regulations. It's not just true crime. I'm in the Corgi subreddit, or the mildly interesting, or the, well, that sucks, or am I the a-hole? They have all these great communities, Final Cut Pro, video editing, YouTubers, new YouTubers. They have all these different communities. Whatever your interests are, you can join. And so, of course, the Madeline Soto case grabbed so many people's interest, and there's quite a few Madeline Soto communities now, and some, splintering off because of all this. It's not just drama. It's more than drama. This isn't even about drama. It's about a predator infiltrating.
It is not about drama. It is about a predator until the drama came in and started blaming this channel for bringing him in and blah, 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 yada, yada. I'm sorry, I'm lost now. Jenny Esquivel, her information is not really credible now. Well, now it's not. You're absolutely right, Mai Tai. And that's why I said I won't take anybody's word in that community. It was very credible, but it was a mistake that happened to Jenny. She apologized for it on Facebook. She brought me into this case, Mai Tai. She's the one that gave me lots of information, gave me exclusive streaming to the vigil and other things that were breaking news to bring to you all before anyone else got it. So now we're not gonna hurt Jenny's feelings and say Jenny's not credible. We don't want to hurt her feelings, but we do want to say that she got duped along with a lot of other people, a lot of other creators, and a lot of other sources. So it's all about learning. It was definitely a shitstorm, and it still is, but we're learning from it. So I'm not going to take anybody anymore, anybody, unless it's my mods.
Infiltrating a community designed to get help for a child sexual assault victim. And that's what's really scary about it. Some people have literally reported this man to the police in California. So this is kind of how it got started, kind of how he was busted. 2 days ago, there was a mod announcement in the Madeline Soto sub that read, "It has come to our attention that a mod who was in charge of the Jen Soto is guilty AF sub, and this one, the Madeline Soto sub, should have never been affiliated. Quote, with recent events, we are establishing better safety and standards. There are no longer mods affiliated with any YouTube channels or other concerning issues. Now, I don't know about that. That's a whole nother drama. I don't like YouTube drama, so I'm not getting into that. We appreciate your patience with us, as we are humans just like you, and we only want the same thing, which is justice for Madeline Soto. Please allow some time today as we fix and process what has been broken here. So Reddit subs, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. The subs can be wonderful. They can be filled with wonderful, intelligent, thoughtful people who use it just for its purpose. So you guys remember how that one post on Reddit, just one singular post from Barb the Stallion, inspired me to create that whole timeline video about Jennifer Soto texting Stefan Stearns' dad to get him a lawyer only 2 minutes after she saw the child abuse photos? It was a Redditor who had listened to all the interviews and realized, wait a minute, Chris Stearns said Jen texted him 4:04 p.m. on Wednesday, February 28th. That's the same day, right when Jennifer was being interviewed. Let's go match up the times, and it was perfect. That's the kind of community that represents the best of Reddit. That's when Reddit users can be great, but not everyone is on Reddit to help. And I'm realizing there are ways that we can be, quote, wise as serpents and innocent as doves, as Jesus told his disciples in Matthew 10:16, in order to suss out these kind of predators. So we can be as innocent as doves in terms of wanting justice for Maddie, not being a creeper, not wanting anything creepy, but wise as serpents, wise as the people who are slithering their way into the community for nefarious purposes. So that leads us to red flag number 1. The day HGhost took over. So it was about 3 weeks ago. There was a new post with the label Mod Update. It appeared in the Madeline Soto subreddit.
All right, so this is a great timeline, and I'm so appreciative that Paula did this. This is starting 3 weeks ago, so it gives you a good idea of what happened, what was said in between them, and now. Mr. Beer says, wow, Jay, I'm so impressed with your response about Jenny. If Gizela was the queen, you're the king, dude. Thank you, Mr. Beer. Thank you. I am very loyal to my family. I'm loyal to my people, to my mods, to my subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gotta be loyal. Gotta be. And when people make mistakes, we all make mistakes. Found your channel and love it. Keep up your good work. God bless you, Jennifer Holland. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you, Binaril. I don't know how to say that, but thank you for the $5 super sticker. I'm going to say it's an avocado. Stayed away and had a bad feeling of Reddit. Yes, so did I, and I should have stayed with that. All right, number 1.
Hey everyone, just an update. It read with the now deleted name showing where the HGhost name used to be. So this is the flowery language he used. I'm honored to step in as the person in charge of this amazing community. As we move forward together, my goal is to lead this subreddit with integrity, respect, and a focus on unity. This space exists for all of us to share, connect, and support each other as we honor Madeline Soto. And I'm committed to ensuring it stays a peaceful and welcoming environment for everyone. Let's remember why we are here.
Yes, I do want to bring that up, Bree, because I got a phone call that day on October 11th. So Bree was added as a mod for subreddit on September 29th because Jenny called me and said she needed help modding Reddit pages. So I offered Bree. I said she's loyal, she's hardworking, she's trustworthy. So I sent her over there. HGhost lied to Jenny and had her removed on October 11th. He did not like Bree. So Jenny called me and said, Bree and Ben are having a problem. They're fighting. And so I had to get into that. And I was like, just pull her off then. We don't need that. And then all this blew up after that. So he did not like Bree. He already didn't like Bree. He knew that he was a target. And that's good. That means that we are paying attention, Bree. Thank you.
Celebrate Madeline's memory and the impact she has had on our lives. I encourage open and respectful discussion, collaboration, and above all, kindness. Together we can continue to build a community and create a space where we can uplift each other. I'm looking forward to working with all of you and hearing your thoughts on how we can make this subreddit the best it can be. Thank you for your trust, and let's keep moving forward together. HGhost. Now, I don't know where this guy came from. These are my red flags. The sweet, syrupy language. Where did he even come from? I don't even know what happened to the prior mod or why he took over or what happened. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But back then I was like, okay, good enough. Here's another, hopefully great administrator who cares about Maddie, who will, doing what I thought was a female. I just thought from the language, and most people in true crime are females, and just the way he spoke fooled people. But it's just that language of, come on guys, let's be a great community. Red flag. Flag number 2. This was a big one. The let's say her name post. And a lot of this stuff was kind of being crossed.
And you guys have to know that, because if you go back onto to pay attention here, if you go back onto one of my streams, I said I'm going to try to call her Madeline because that's what she wanted to be called. That's what I was told. I actually got I almost got scolded for that. And this is what happened here. Listen up.
Posted on Facebook, and I don't think I have all those Facebook screenshots because I wanted to see who I was communicating with, because I noticed the same language on Reddit and in the Facebook group. So I was like, okay, I'm communicating with the same person here. It's pretty obvious. But a few days ago, this post appeared and it got my hinky meter dancing around so much I replied asking him for proof. I don't know why he created this. HGhost wrote, "We're all here to honor Madeline and fight for the justice she so deeply deserves." So notice how he's adopted the language of, true crime advocates who really do want Maddie to get justice. It's like he's just being a parrot. He wrote, "There's something small but meaningful that's been weighing on my heart. We call her by different names. Madeline, Maddie, Madalena." Now, I've never heard anyone call Maddie Madalena. Is that perhaps an Easter egg he threw in there playing in our faces? Madalena is a form of the Hebrew name Magdalene, like Mary Magdalene, meaning the woman from Magdala. It refers to the saint and companion of Jesus, Mary Magdalene. And
yes, this is ridiculous, the classic one. All of this over that, and that's why we hadn't addressed this, because I wanted to show you the locks of love. I wanted to show you all the other things, and I'm like, okay, it's Friday, we're chilling out. Let's get this out of the way, and let's stop the bullying, and definitely not on my channel. Yeah, absolutely classic one, ridiculous. I never heard that either, but this is creepy. This whole thing is creepy. Madalena, that creeps me out. I've never heard that one before. Yeah, he has no heart. He's a disgusting pedo. We don't even care what heart he does have, because pedos don't belong around here or anywhere.
Then he went on to say, okay, we might call her by different names, Madeline, Maddie, Madalena. But I remember hearing a story about how much it meant to her to be called Madeline. It's almost like he was chastising us, even on Facebook too. I remember when this came out. This guy said every time someone called her Maddie, she would gently say, "No, it's Madeline." Oh, that name wasn't just a preference, it was part of who she was. It might seem like a little thing, but I believe it's a powerful way to keep her spirit alive. By calling her Madeline, we're not just saying a name, we're honoring the person she was, her identity, her wishes. I know many of us are used to calling her Maddie, and that's okay if it feels right to you. Like, who is this guy telling us what we can call a victim? But imagine how much it would mean to her and to her memory if we all came together and called her by the name she loved. What do you think? Could we honor her in this way? Now, literally, when I read this, at first I felt bad for a split second, because of course you want to call a victim whatever name they preferred. I was almost beating myself up like, wait a minute, all this time, how did I not know she preferred to be called Madeline?
That's me too. I literally was having to correct myself in my head. I was like, oh, interesting. I guess so. I guess I'll say Madeline. And then I'd say Maddie. And I'm like, man, yeah, he gets off on that type of control, Tom. You're absolutely right. I call her Maddie, Madeline, all the things, Maddie. I don't think that her seeing that we want justice for her and all the things that we do, I think that it wouldn't matter when your body is gone and your spirit or your soul. I don't think you would care if someone calls me what they call me. I don't think they would care if you call me Uncle Chai or Jai or Jay or what. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Yeah, super manipulative liars, and they all deserve to be castrated, in my opinion.
Of calling people by what they prefer. But then I started thinking, wait, no, Jennifer, I'm sure Jennifer has called her Maddie in some of her interviews. I think I've heard Tyler, Madeline's bio dad, call her Maddie. I believe maybe, and it's hard because some of them are redacted, of course, but I really believe I heard Jen's ex-husband potentially call her Maddie. A lot of people called her Maddie. And so if this were true, I believe her loved ones would have called her Madeline. They would have just said, oh, she preferred Madeline. So I was thinking, oh my goodness, how could I have missed this? But I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. This is weird. And how is this person going to be chastising us for calling her Maddie all this time when this is the first time we're hearing about this so-called preference of names? The red flags here, dubious claims. I remember hearing a story. That's akin to, trust me, bro. That's why people are like, what? So he repeated the same claims on Facebook, and I was replying to him, and both places. So on Reddit, I wrote, thanks. Can you point me to the exact interview where her family said that Madeline preferred to be called Madeline? Thanks again. I'm being really sweet. Sometimes, you feel like you got to kiss up to some of these moderators and administrators, especially the ones that are on the power trip. They're like, if you say one thing they don't agree with, you're out of there. But the good thing is, no matter what you get kicked out of, there's other groups popping up all the time with mods that are cool. Anyway, HGhost replied, it wasn't in an interview. It was a personal conversation with her family that I had. So this guy is claiming he's had a personal conversation with Maddie's family about her preference to be called Madeline. Okay, giving him the benefit of the doubt. I wrote, okay, thank you. That's why people don't know these things, because Jen Soto has called her Maddie, and I believe Tyler did too, so we could only assume that was her preferred term of endearment or preferred name. He wrote, I'm not sure on her father, but Jen always said things that would be mean towards Madeline. Name 5 good things she said about her. Bet you can't. Winky face. Ugh. When you think about who you're really communicating with here. Ugh. So my red flag there was he changed the subject pretty quickly away from me asking for proof. His whole proof was basically, trust me, bro, I talked to the family. So I replied, you're correct. Jen only once said Madeline had a beautiful voice. She said that in the transport interview. I heard it. It's hard to hear, but she said it when she was being transported during one of those interviews. That's the only kind thing I can remember Jen said about her daughter that was kind. So now I'm trying to prove that he's truly speaking to Tyler and Tatiana, Maddie's dad and stepmom. I asked, do you know why Shannon Butler's interview on WFTV Channel 9 with Tatiana and Tyler's mom was pulled? Just curious. I've been, figuring out, trying to find that interview for months now. I wrote, I'm grateful the family is speaking to you, and I think it would help if they spoke out about facts like this so we can all learn. Thanks again. Again, I think I'm talking to some woman who's a true crime advocate here. HGhost wrote, I'm not sure, but they wanted to be able to grieve privately in peace. I do have some family pictures showing they were involved in her life that I was going to post this evening. As for the beautiful voice, I can't remember context. Was she saying she thought that, or was she saying Stefan thought that? That's when I gave up on, I believe, replying at all to this person because, the Holy Spirit does warn us, like, this person isn't who you say they are. And that's why I can be standoffish. I mean, I talk to a lot of people and, I get it. Some people just want to be able to access me more and talk to me more. But like Kanye said, it's 1,000 yous. It's only one of me. I'm out here with my real name, my real face. I'm on camera. I'm kind of I won't say open book, but I'm out here. And other people who are hiding behind all these avatars and fake names and fake personalities. And then they want you to just give access to them. I'm just like, I don't know who you are. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know you. I know some people are very genuine and they just have to keep private, but for reasons.
And I just love that she's telling the story. I wonder if he reached out to Gisela. Now she's very private, so I don't even think she'd want to tell this story or do any of that. She's on a different time zone and everything, but man, that makes sense. It makes sense a lot, trying to tell off themselves and feel more powerful because they're getting away with something very obvious, listening to different channels correct themselves. It is crazy. It is. And I'm glad that we're going to tell this and hopefully move on, because if this guy is not locked up, I'm sure he's getting off on listening to his name and us creators fight with each other and talk about him. Could that ghost guy be familiar with Stephen Stearns or living vicariously? He probably is living vicariously through him in some sick obsession. I doubt that he has anything to do with him, but he could. He's in El Cajon. I don't know if Stephen Stearns was ever down south in that area. He also said he's from San Diego, so I don't know about that.
Reasons like this is why I don't trust some people. So the red flags here was he had no additional information other than what's already available to the public. I mean, anyone can say, it's true. I'm sure they want to be able to grieve privately in peace. And then he immediately jumps on this family pictures because he has to prove they were involved in her life. That was his mantra. Tyler and Tatiana were in Maddie's life. And it's kind of like, okay, why are you pressing that fact so hard? I don't know. It was just weird. So that was weird. He didn't have any insider information like, oh yeah, I talked to the family. Yeah. But he couldn't tell me why they pulled the Channel 9 interview. If someone was really close to the family and spoke with them, maybe they'd know that information. He didn't even remember that part of the case where Jen did give Maddie that soul compliment. She has a beautiful voice, Jennifer said in the back of that transport video. Supposedly this guy learned about, I think, Maddie's case on TikTok, and he soaked up all the information. And before you know it, he's all over here running this subreddit dedicated to her. So red flag number 3, speaking of photos. So this guy seems to be really big on photos, and now I see why. He was really big on CSAM photos, apparently. So allegedly, according to someone who DM'd
Now we did share that synth, and I just realized because Bree messaged me as well, he did call. Uh, Grandpa Juan did call Maddie Madalena. So yeah, I shared that with you guys last week when I got all those pictures that Bree sent me, and I got a call in the middle of it. You're not supposed to show those pictures. Like, whoa. Anyway, so I did show that, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time for that after this because I gotta go get Reese. Reese actually didn't call me today to pick her up. Nothing hurts.
Me on Twitter, quote, he had begun to tell people he had pictures of Maddie, deceased, unedited, and uncut images. I doubt that's true. He has baby pictures of Maddie. She said, the woman who told me, she said, I don't know who provided them. Well, I mean, on Tyler, the bio dad's Facebook, there are baby pictures of Maddie. I mean, I found those when I first started researching the case. I don't know if this guy is just like HGhost was bigging himself up, like, I've got photos of Maddie when she was a baby. Let me prove to you I'm talking to the family. I don't know his deal. But according to Redditors, he had posted, oh yeah, this drawing, I guess, of Maddie. I saw it. I'm not going to put it up anywhere. And links to his photos on his Flickr account and other places, some kind of nefarious places, were disturbing with their focus on young people. It was just like, I don't know, you're a grown 37-year-old man. Why are you focusing on all these young people? Weird. But his artwork has been deleted from that DID forum on Reddit. So HGhost was big on photos, which I believe, again, leads to his ultimate in-game motivation. Thank God people background checked him. Several days ago, I caught a post that said something like, he was proving that Tyler and Tatiana was in Madeline's life. Then he posted a series of 10 photos of Maddie with her dad and her stepmom and that side of the family. Redditors say he called this fact-checking and presented this post as irrefutable proof that they were in her life. This is one problem with the true crime community. Some people get too ingratiated, even with the family, and I get it. They feel like they have to be a spokesperson for certain family members, and we don't even know if they even knew the family, at least not this guy. But he wrote, I would like to clear some.
Exactly. And after this came out, or when things started happening last week, I said, I'm not going to go one way or the other until I hear something from the district attorney. Until we get something solid, I'm not going to say anything. You guys can have your opinions, but I'm not going to stick up for anybody in the family because we don't know who the family's even talking to at this point. And yeah, it doesn't mean a local PD doesn't have him. I checked in San Diego Sheriff custody list. I'm not sure if he was in San Diego. Is that the same as El Cajon? This guy has nothing but a criminal record, right?
Things up with pictures. So he posted all these photos of Maddie. Some we've seen. Maybe he just pulled them from Facebook. Maybe he really did get them from someone who got them from Tyler. I have no idea. But the red flags are, while the photos may be valid, and I do believe HGhost really duped some honest Facebook administrators, I did feel the need. I remember the other night I was hearing my phone clicking as I was just screenshotting.
Yep.
Like, I think it's like 10 photos, screenshotting them because I knew they would disappear. I mean, HGhost had to put his watermark on there. I get it. I do watermarking for different reasons because people take your research on YouTube and present it as their own. That's the reason I have to watermark everything up to high heaven over here. But HGhost was watermarking those photos. I didn't get the whole text of what he was saying, but he was saying something about, I don't know, it was some kind of weird caption he put with it as if to prove, see, Tyler and Tatiana did spend time with Maddie. And it was kind of like, I don't know, what's your point?
Right.
Red flag number 4, breaking news from prosecutor office post. That's what it read. This was when I really knew he was like, okay, you're not real. It was about 3 weeks ago.
And so this is it. This is the one that we're going to question until the district attorney comes out. Yet I'm still not going to spread I'm not going to spread rumors and say, oh, because he posted that, it means Maddie's pregnant. I'm not going to say that because the family has specifically asked, and I'm not going to say the family, I'm going to say the people in the Madeline Soto Facebook group, which could mean nothing, don't want to talk about Maddie, this young girl that may be pregnant. They don't want rumors until we know. So I'm not going to talk about it. Y'all can talk about it, whatever, but you're not going to hear it on my channel. All right, listen up.
Ghost wrote, I just received a call. It's hard. He doesn't use punctuation. They wanted me to break the news before media gets it. Prosecutors just spoke to my direct source and they gave some new info. Prosecutors have announced Madeline was not pregnant. Yes. Jennifer Soto, as of now, is still not going to be indicted, and they still don't know a reason why Stephen Stearns killed Maddie. Red flags. Woo. First of all, these red flags are that it's a crime the way he doesn't use punctuation. What's wrong with a period or a comma? I mean, do people take English classes anymore? That's all I want to know. Secondly, while it very well could be true that the Facebook administrators, the ones I trust, and really I think her heart is just in the right place. Perhaps she really did get the information from Maddie's dad. Now that I can't dispute, I just don't know. Like HGhost wrote, as if he was trying to make it seem like the prosecutor's office called him. And maybe that's why people intentionally don't include punctuation. I just received a call. They wanted me to break the news before media gets it. Prosecutors just spoke to my direct source, and they gave some new info! Exclamation point. Did the prosecutors really announce this? I don't know. I doubt that anyone cared about HGhost breaking the news first on Reddit. So that's why I haven't mentioned this at all now. When people ask HGhost for details, he didn't have them. So it's reasons like this why a lot of people do want to reach out. They want to, people want to get on the phone with me. You know, people develop parasocial relationships. So many people just want to FaceTime you and just blah, 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 this and that. And I've learned over the years, yeah, some people I will message with back and forth here and there, you know, symbiotic relationships, but I'm not one for, I don't know, getting too deeply in. And this is why. Just because of this fake creeper who he misled so many people who automatically assumed, okay, we have the same motivation here. You know, our motivation is to watch this trial through, to see Maddie get her justice, to create memorials for her, keep her memory alive, make people aware of SA and the tactics. And this guy, look at his tactics.
No, I didn't.
Red flag number 5. Oh, this was a trip too. His would-be letter to Tyler and Tatiana from Maddie's point of view. Can you imagine the hubris of someone writing a letter from a victim's point of view, from a dead girl's point of view? I mean, as if Maddie wasn't.
This is disgusting. I had not seen this yet, and I'm glad that I didn't. All right. Do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like button. Sweetie's pushing it real hard. 20 more likes to get to 200. We have 318 people here, and I appreciate you all for being here. Next week, hopefully, we have information that's going to be closer to justice for Maddie Soto. This guy's still in the spotlight here and causing a bunch of drama on YouTube. And hopefully this is the last of it, because, you know, I didn't want anything to do with this. I really didn't.
Abused enough when she was alive. Now this creeper is trying to put himself in her place and write a letter to present it to her dad. I mean, anyway, HGhost wrote a post titled, "Just wanted to share a little more about who Maddie was." And in the comments, I don't know what he wrote. I'm trying to remember what he wrote there about who she was. It just seemed like such a lovely tribute, you know, all about her personality. It almost came off as, hey guys, let's not focus on, you know, her horrible death. Let's focus on who she was in life, which is a great sentiment, except when you realize who it's actually coming from. In the comments, he wrote, quote, "I will be working on more. I have a letter to Tyler and Tatiana in the point of view of Maddie in heaven, debating on posting as well. My fear is people can't play nice on here. I guess if they don't, they can go somewhere else. Green heart." Ugh. So not only is this guy being bold and cocky enough to write this tribute to Maddie and claim he wants to write a letter from her point of view in heaven, like he never met her, and he's a creeper doing some of the same things that Stefan Stearns was doing, at least in terms of CSAM photos. Those are the charges. Not only is he so bold as to do all that, but he's also saying, my fear is people can't play nice on here. I guess if they don't, they can go somewhere else. Always threatening users like, if you don't toe the line like we want in this subreddit, you're out. And he kicks so many people out.
That's crazy. Cece, I would prefer to focus on Maddie too and the justice she deserves. I can't believe how much attention this got and how many creators he stirred up in doing this. Even causing fights. Yeah, you can see, but you don't want to, because that's why you guys, most of you don't go on Reddit, because it's absolutely ridiculous accusations. I'm the 7 foot tall abdominal snowman. Yeah, it is actually insane.
Out, and there was so much censoring. Thankfully, some rational person replied to him, "I think it would be an overstep to write from the first person perspective of a dead child and direct it at their family members." I mean, can you imagine? To me, that's as bad as the people who, you know, those folks, those scammers. Jennifer Soto even mentioned it. The people who are so low that they will literally call the mom of a missing child and pretend and go, help, help, it's me, it's me. Those are some of the lowest scum on earth. That's what this reminds me of. HGhost wrote, "True, I scrapped the..."
And if you do go on Reddit, I'm glad that you do. That's awesome. I'm not putting down Reddit people or Reddit posts. I don't prefer that site. I never did. And the only reason that I said, okay, the Madeline Soto group and this group is because Jenny came to me and said, hey, you know, can you put this on there, et cetera, et cetera. And that's who I'm loyal to. I'm loyal to her. And when I'm loyal to people, I do things for them. So I didn't do it for Ghost or anybody else. And please don't go back to Reddit and tell people that I'm bashing Reddit, because I'm not. I'm saying I don't prefer Reddit, and many of my people here don't either. Doesn't mean that we don't, because we don't prefer it, that we're bashing anybody. So I don't want people to think that, because I've heard that before, and I'm absolutely appalled that someone would go back to Reddit and say Jay from Guilty of Crime is bashing Reddit. No, I'm not. And I've heard that before too. It's just ugh. No, I didn't kind of do that, Space. I didn't. So if you're here, I'm sure you've seen the Reddit posts. I didn't kind of do that. I'm sitting right here. I'm the host of the show. I'm talking, Space. And I just told you I didn't bash Reddit. So obviously you're from Reddit and you saw the post. Nobody bashed Reddit. I don't personally like it. Period. So if you're from Reddit and you're one of the people over there, good for you. If you don't like my channel, don't be here. Thank you. If you want to go back to Reddit and go bash me some more like you guys have been doing, see ya.
The idea, someone else replied, thank God. So those red flags. By thinking of writing a letter from Maddie's perspective, I feel like HGhost, he was trying to get even closer to Maddie in some sort of sick way, maybe in the spiritual realm or something. And I think he was trying to maybe again ingratiate himself with the family. Like, did he think, oh, this letter will be so popular, like especially women? Let's face it, there's a lot of women in true crime. These women will eat it up. And did he think it would get the attention of Maddie's dad and he'd be even more in there in concert with his dad or something? And I think in a way HGhost was competing as if he were trying to be one of Maddie's friends, like whichever wonderful friend of Maddie's wrote this heartfelt poem that was featured in her memorial. Now I believe this is real. I believe this really came from one of Maddie's little friends. And another odd thing about this poem, I mean, this is great. It just has commas after every line, something I saw from that other poem that I believe Stephen Stearns wrote. So I'm like, I don't know, did people see these poems in Maddie's memorial and try and duplicate them? Did Stearns do that? Anyway, this HGhost guy, did he get jealous of this poem and say, well, I can one-up you, I can write a letter from Maddie's perspective? Anyway, from Maddie's friend, this poem is great. It says, you were pretty, you were kind, you were everything I liked. I couldn't be sad around you, even if I tried. You were the sun, society is the moon. If you told us, we all would have believed you. That's the line that gets people. If you told us, we all would have believed you. I miss you so much, but I feel okay knowing knowing you're doing fine up above. I'll try not to cry, I'll try not to shed, but I'll always be lucky you were my friend. Okay, red flag number 6.
And before we get into number 6, you know the rumors that are so bad that got spread on there. So I went over there. I'm one of those people like, hey, you got something to say to me? Even though I am the host of this channel and I can't talk to everybody, if you have something to say, come talk to me. I invite you, email me, and then we can get a number in exchange and have a conversation. So I went over to say that to those people, like the top 2 people that were spreading stuff. And you know what they said? They went back onto Reddit and they posted a headline that said, Jay from Guilty of Crime is threatening us. Oh, dear Lord. All right. That goes to show you how much I like Reddit. So go back and tell your people that I'm bashing Reddit. Oh, such ridiculousness. Justice for Maddie, y'all. This is the last time we're going to talk about this guy.
HGhost's connection to Tracy, who claims her credit card was stolen to pay Stephen Stearns' $50 lawyer filing fee for a public defender. So you might remember this drama. On October 6, 2024, a woman, I'll just call Tracy, I'm not going to put her last name or her photos or her address or anything out there. She showed up on the court docket in Osceola. It's out there on the court docket. You can verify what I'm saying. Stephen Stearns' public defender filing fee was paid. So, if you watched the video, I reached out to Stephen Stearns' attorney. She didn't know who Tracy was. She said some people just pay that fee because they think if they don't, the defendant would lose his legal team. Obviously, he hasn't. He had a total of 4 lawyers on that team yesterday, and one of them was vying to try and get his trial pushed out to 2027. Thankfully, the judge was like, no way. In the meantime, a now locked post from a deleted user reads, Tracy pays Stefan's legal fees. So allegedly, Tracy reached out to HGhost in order to clear her name. Maybe Tracy was familiar with Reddit, I don't know, and just reached out to the moderator, and that's how she got hooked up with HGhost. I have no idea. But then we started seeing all these comments. Several comments claim I'm Tracy and I had my credit card used without my permission. I've contacted the county clerk and disputed with my credit card company. Please know that I'm not in any support of this nasty human human being. I don't have any knowledge of this person. I have no connection.
Right?
HG even posted a screenshot of disputes against the $52.50 charge, along with a claim that Tracy's card was frozen. A lot of people are like, why would you just freeze your card if it was stolen? Why not cancel it? I don't know. And supposedly, so HGhost supposedly put Tracy in touch with a YouTube creator who conducted an interview with Tracy. Many people are just doubting Tracy's story. Stranger things have happened, but I don't know who would use a stolen credit card number to pay a court fee. Well, maybe someone, maybe it's stolen and maybe they didn't want their name on the filing fee and maybe they did it. I don't know if Tracy's lying or not. I just don't know. But that whole situation and HGhost involvement was a red flag. I'm not saying any YouTube creator or even Tracy or anyone knew who HGhost was in real life, but it was just all weird. Red flag number 7. But one thing, I do appreciate Jenny for just going live on Facebook and speaking from the heart and admitting, yeah, this guy duped me. And that's how I feel to an extent too, because I was like, you could tell I was looking at him with a side eye, like, what are you talking about, dude? I didn't even know he was a dude. At least Jenny admitted this guy just fooled me. And I really believe she was just fooled by who he was. Red flag number 7. HGhost has ghosted everyone, or at least we think he has. So upon learning that some, I guess, Redditors and Facebook users and YouTubers, I guess, are, we're pretty good at doing background checks. I didn't background check this guy, but other people have. Allegedly, HGhost got nervous when he realized the gig was up and he was exposed, and the user HGhost has gone ghost, literally. This user has deleted their account. So that's a red flag to me, because if someone was trying to expose me, do an expose on me, I don't think I would run and hide. Like I remember someone creating, I think, a YouTube video about me. They assumed my name was always Paula Mooney, as if that's not my married name, Doy. I had a maiden name. I wasn't born married. First mistake. And secondly, they were like, somebody named Paula Mooney down in Florida has been arrested. It must have been her. She's been arrested. It was funny. I literally had to think, was I ever arrested in Florida? Only by the grace of God, I've never been arrested. But this person.
Yeah, those kind of things. The 7-foot abominable snowman is right there in front of you. Did you know that? It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I gotta laugh at this stuff, man. If you don't laugh, then you're just gonna cry about it. And when I came on to YouTube, I did not sign up for this. I signed up to get justice for little Elijah and all the little. I mean, I have all kinds of parents that I've talked to and family members that I've had on the show. And it's absolutely ridiculous. I didn't sign up for this stuff, but I guess that we did. So Yolanda, Maddie's grandma, follows. Glowcart. A lot of Jen Soto's family does follow that group, and they also watch my videos. So they do not like the hashtag arrest Jen Soto, but we're here for justice for Maddie. Like you guys are saying, we're here for justice for Maddie. We're not here for the drama. None of us come here for that. No, we got to stand up and shout the truth, Deb. I'm not afraid of these people. I never got bullied in high school, and I'm not going to be bullied now at 45 years old. No thanks.
And just jumped on YouTube and was like, she's been arrested and blah, blah, blah. People don't do their due diligence. But where was I going with that? Oh, if someone, and that accusation, I didn't even strike their video. I didn't even privacy. I didn't do anything with it because I was like, it's just a lie. The lie can't stand. If anyone were to try and dig into it, they would see, oh, duh, that's not her. That's why I tell you stuff about when Brad Simpson, husband of Suzanne Simpson, who they're searching for now in San Antonio, when he got sued by American Express, I'm like, I'm reporting him being sued. I might as well tell you guys the time I was sued by American Express, just why not? And that's just literally a part of my background, But my whole point is, fact check me. My whole point is, fine, who cares about background checking me? I have never been arrested by the grace of God. Only God's grace, let me tell you. Not to say I haven't done some things in my wayward youth that would have gotten me arrested, but thank God I never did. And my point is, I don't have to go ghost. I don't have to disappear if someone were accusing me of something. But HGhost went ghost because once people somehow.
Thank you, Paula. Show love to Paula, y'all. We love her. Thank you, Carly, for putting that. I love you, Paula. And not in that way, but I do love you, Paula, for saying that. It's like someone says she was arrested in Florida, and she's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I wasn't, and it wasn't me. And that's why I wasn't addressing it. And I wasn't coming on here or hiding, and why I kept reporting every day, because go ahead, fact check it. And thank you. I am as I am. Yes, exactly. Melanie, I was never bullied either until just this week. Yes, show love for Paula. Paula's the best. We love you, Paula. Thank you for being the light in this community right now.
found him connected, they found his charges. And he was like, yikes. So just a few weeks ago, though, he was bragging about his influence. And this is what's scary. He wrote, I have teamed up with a Facebook group and a couple TikTok creators and influencers. I hope all these people know who he is by now. We have been planning on starting a trend in hopes of it going viral in memory of her. What trend? I don't know. To give you a rough estimate of people reached between the 3 platforms, not including the influencers, is about 80,000 people. We are planning big things to remember her by. So that's another red flag. Just him focusing on the numbers and teaming up with other people. He just did make some odd moves. I know users, of course, content creators collaborate. Nothing wrong with that. But why the focus? It was just like he was trying to build these numbers to influence people. Was it just to brag about the numbers, or was it to, okay, if I can get in contact with as many people as I can and get as many people to trust me, maybe I can get more and more and eventually get my...
It's attention too. He wanted his name out there. He wanted the attention. He definitely was targeting creators. And when you target a creator and you talk to a creator, creators are going to say your name. And you're watching and you're like, oh, they said my name. I got the attention. He's probably thriving on that right now, y'all.
My hands on Maddie's photos. Was that his game plan? Because if you're running a Reddit sub, fine, about a case, I don't know, what's the point in, contacting all these TikTokers or all these Facebook administrators and cross-posting or whatever he was trying to get them to do? Anyway, people began thanking him for stepping into mod. Likely they thought they were talking to an honorable person. And so he's responding, thank you, I appreciate that. It's been less than 24 hours. Once I get on my feet here, I will be making a strong team of people to help me. LOL, thanks. I'm not sure what I've accomplished yet, but I guess there's been no fighting today and there has been order. So he's basically puffing himself up for the day. The last person in charge didn't respond to mod mail. So that's moderator mail. So he said, I responded to most of those with the help of the other mods here helping me, which is scary. I think that's like you DMing a mod. I really don't think I DM mods ever that much, if ever, on Reddit. So that's scary because to me, what has he been saying to all these people? And what if it's, I just hate to think, can you imagine? What if it's all these people trauma dumping on him and they don't even know? What if it's a person who's like, thank you so much for taking over this mod. I experienced this as a little girl and my perpetrator did that. And what if he's like pretending to be some woman? Oh, I've been through the same thing and blah, blah, blah. And imagine who they're really talking to. They're really talking to some chomo. And we don't know if he's a chomo. Still, we know that he had these CSAM material pictures here. Not cool. Okay, so what if he's going back, and I don't even know if he's talking to younger people, like how old do you have to be to have a Reddit account? It's all scary. And so that's why I really wanted to do this video to expose the larger issue of what's happening here and the sneaky ways people try and gaslight and just how good they are at getting in and garnering trust and us at making assumptions about who we're talking to. So he said, I changed the description to be more accurate and appropriate, as well as getting rid of a couple of rules we didn't need, and instituting 10,000 more. I've been working with people about the new memorial being created for Maddie, and I will be announcing that on here this evening. No. That memorial, I believe, has been announced on Facebook by Jenny, who I believe is trustworthy. That's why I like to see people face to face, look you in the eye, see what your spirit is like, hear your voice, instead of just some avatar hiding behind on the internet.
Yes.
Started, but there's such irony. He went on.
Yes, Paula. Yes, exactly. That's why I welcome each and every single one of you. If you have something that you want to say, you want to ask me a question, you want to support me, you don't want to support me, right here, y'all, right here, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. Even if you have an accusation, accuse me by email and then we can talk. Then I can call you. I won't give you my number, but I'll call you. Let's talk it out. Let's do it on a live. Let's talk it, but let's talk in face, not with this weird avatar, especially Regina George avatar. Come on, y'all. Let's be real. Hopefully he answered for the CSAM charges. I agree. He got blasted. His name's out there.
On to write, this is the internet. You can curse here, because someone asked, oh, can we curse here? Primarily, what I won't allow is people talking heavily only about the trauma as well as toxicity and fighting each other. I do understand this is a very emotionally heavy case and we all have strong opinions, including myself, and it will be a challenge for me as well. But we all have to remember why we are here, and that's not to fight others. So this man who had sexually explicit photos that he was obviously passing around according to his list of charges of children is talking about he won't allow people talking heavily only about the trauma as well as toxicity. I mean, it's just mind-blowing how deep this goes. People realize HGhost had an agenda we were realizing something's wrong. Someone wrote, "This entire new mod team is pathetic. No self-promotion, but aggressively promotes one YouTuber. No posting about the Wallace family from either side, but makes and quickly deletes a pro-Wallace family photo album with their Reddit username as a watermark all over the pictures, calling it proof." Because there was this rule, something about you can't mention Tyler, Maddie's dad. Like, it was okay in this subreddit to dog out Jennifer to high hell. What do I care? I mean, I don't know what she knew, but I'm just saying it was fine to dog her out, but you're not supposed to mention Tatiana and Tyler at all, which is strange. What if you're even mentioning them positively? And that's what I mean about people getting too ingratiated. I watched it with the Watts family drama all the way back in 2018, where different YouTubers might have gotten in close with the Watts side, or they got in close with the Ruchek side. And
Mr. Tom Haneker, his real name is at the beginning of my of this video. So if you go back and be part of the rewatch crew, do me a favor and comment on it, because I want people to see this. But his name is on there. His real name is on there. They even put his address out there, which I can't say nothing. If you're doing something like this, I guess that's what happens. He did start a lot of things in this community.
It just became this dance, and it's like not real objective third party. I'm just observing the facts of the case. It gets a little dicey, but someone else wrote, "Deleting threads, deleting comments, locking everything, a list of 40 plus banned words. The censorship is so bad that every discussion inevitably devolves into a meta discussion about the censorship. This sub isn't about Maddie anymore. It's about a handful of lowlives on power trips. You should all be ashamed." Whoa. So that's when somewhere in there, HGhost had called himself a fangirl of a certain YouTuber. So that's one of the many ways this pedo man nearly fooled 11,000 people or more on Reddit alone. I don't even know what happened on TikTok. Actually, the Reddit sub is up to 12,000 people now. -1 if they kick me out after this video. Anyway, but I want people to just be aware, especially we don't know who he's DMing or who.
Yeah, don't kick Paula out because she just used Reddit. She just made a whole video about Reddit and said, be careful on Reddit. Don't kick her out, okay? Because we use the Reddit. Trigger warning to Regina George. Trigger warning. Hey, Regina George, if you come back here, we're not talking about Reddit still. We're saying be careful because there are a lot of things on there that aren't true. Trigger warning. Where'd Regina George go? Yes, we need this. We need a laugh, and we need to stay on track with justice for Maddie. This is who we need arrested, is this woman, Jen Soto.
What the connections have been, personal stuff, and people go too far. But the scary part is he allegedly had multiple profiles. Some reportedly have been deleted, some have been removed, I think, by the mods, allegedly. In the end, I believe HGhost played this sick, long mind game just to try and obtain bad photos of Maddie that he could potentially pass along to other sickos. But those photos won't be released. I mean, I told you guys about the update. We were talking with Florida Connections, and she had another batch of 711 photos to release, but she told us, the docket and I, okay, they will be mostly redacted, because we were trying to figure out, okay, are these like, photos we've seen of the condo? What are these? If they're the same, we don't want them or whatever. We don't know, but she was saying they'd be mostly redacted. And so there's still a discussion. I don't know. I was just like, well, just give me the non-redacted ones. Nothing gross. I mean, maybe it's just a photo of God knows what. I don't know, when they walked in the condo, or I don't know what they are of, because I haven't been told. My point is, they're not going to release unless, heaven forbid, another accident happens where they accidentally posted on Instagram. But the photos that this sicko is probably going for, those will not be released. The cops have to view them, unfortunately. They have to show them to Jennifer to show her proof.
Yes, thank you. Community, anybody that's concerned, no photos were released to anybody, to any creator, through any FOIA that would compromise the investigation or Maddie. All right, so nobody had any of that. Yes, trigger warning, Chucky, Tracy Pope, I love you. Jennifer Soup, I love you. Melanie says, Sarah had issues with me since day one. Yeah, but that thing. Ugh. Anyway, justice for Maddie.
They didn't show them to Stearns. I don't think they ever showed it to him, which is good, because they're probably like, look, you don't need to get off on these. It's like you caused this girl enough harm. One thing this is making me think of, oh my goodness, let's hope no sickos get on the jury. It's not like you can rally to try and go for a specific case. All the sickos can't be like, yeah, jury duty is just random. They go through voir dire. But I was thinking, oh, what if a sicko was like going through all this to pretend to be someone else just to get on the jury, just to be able to see the evidence? I pray to God and Jesus that does not happen. Let's close with 1 Corinthians 3:7. So neither is the one who plants nor the one who waters anything, but only God who causes the growth. So whatever the motivation is for people to run subreddits, to run Facebook groups, run YouTube channels, run TikTok accounts, we all hope our motivations are pure in that we truly are victim focused and we want to see them get their justice. We want to see their perpetrators go down. We want to learn the tactics of perpetrators. And this one just tripped me out. I've never seen someone, I guess, so slick and so sly with his words and his movements. And like that Jay-Z song, it reminds me of show you how to move in a room full of vipers. Like a viper just
Vultures?
trying to move and turn his way with words, studying, truly studying the true crime community, knowing it is filled with a lot of women. I mean, there are men too, some great detectives, men, retired detectives. You guys know all of them if I rattle off the names, and doing excellent work to cover cases who really care about the victims. But then we have to remember,
Yes.
there's these guys like this too who are going to be lurking, who are going to say, oh, there's a child case. Let me get on in there. Let me see who I can exploit and gaslight and lie to and pretend that I want justice too for this victim. That's my only thought process. Why else would he have gone through all this? I think he's just going through all this to try and get his hands on some photos, which I pray he will never, ever, ever see in the videos either. I can't think of any other purpose unless it's to find other victims and maybe get off on them telling their stories or messaging him when they really think they're talking to a woman. That's why real life is so important. Face-to-face friends, perhaps people who we know, maybe from long ago, or even those who God just tells you, yeah, this is a divine connection and not someone like this. So just sick. Sick.
Thank you.
Anyway, we're going to keep going on this case, many other cases. They're still searching for Suzanne Simpson, the last I saw. We will keep up. There's a lot of trials starting. There's Delphi starting.
Delphi started today. Sarah Boone started today. Thunder, you're amazing. I've showed you so much love, and I appreciate you so much. We did it. 222. Prayer for Maddie, which, by the way, I saw on Reddit. I couldn't help but see it on Reddit. It said, and that guilty of crime, how immature she is when she sees a triple number, she prays. She says a prayer for a victim. That's so immature. Well, it's me being immature. 222, say a prayer for Maddie that she gets complete and utter justice from this potato. Yeah, thanks to Paula. I'm going to take this down because we're done with this, and I do want to focus on Maddie. And we're not going to be doing this anymore. If people do want to stay over on Reddit and continue to bash me, they can bash me over there and stay over there, because if they come on my channel, I'm just going to kick them off. I know, Marilyn, I'm so immature. I'm so mature for saying a prayer for the victim. Yeah, and I just saw somebody in here that came from the where did you go? Corey Michelo. You know, we've helped a lot of victims to get victims' parents and victims' family members in the short 8 or 9 months that we've been here. We've done a lot with them, and we want to continue doing that and remain focused on doing that. We want to help them. We want to get interviews with them. We want to put their names out there and bring awareness to their cases, because most of them don't. Marilyn, stop making me laugh, Marilyn. We don't have. We don't. There's a lot of people that don't have awareness to the case, and it's another child that their life has been taken. They've been brutally beaten, victimized. Yeah, I think so. Pretty cute. Pretty cute. There it is. It's pretty cute. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But yeah, let's all have a mature weekend, everybody. We love you. 222. Yeah, spirituality doesn't equal maturity. So if you guys want to come over to a channel that has class but also has taste, and you can be who you want to be, you could be spiritual, you could be atheist, you could be whatever you want to be without getting bullied and people talking down to you. And we just hit 19,000. That's so awesome. Do me a favor, hit the like button on your way out. Everybody, I will tell you that we're going to have a good weekend. I'm going to pick up Reese. I love that kid. Emric Nunez is my first time watching. Hi. Well, I always want to shout out to you all. I want to shout out to the new members and to everybody that comes in here. Let's be silly this weekend. Deception Detective uploaded. Yes, you know what we're going to be covering next week. Well, we got a lot of cases to cover, but yeah, that's going to be that. I love you all. Why would Jennifer Soto say we took her to school in the first interview? Just us. We. Wyatt, I will be back on Monday at 4 p.m. Thank you for asking. You guys are amazing. Such a great community here. Thank you all for being here. Have a good weekend. And everybody, you have the right to be immature this weekend. Thank you all. Let's continue fighting for all the victims. But for now, justice for Madeline Soto. Good night, y'all. I love you and thank you.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?